Oh, stop. So here's what I love. This is the next generation of hairdressers, this young lady's in beauty school. Can you imagine what like her mind is thinking when she walks into a show like this and looks around like, what is going on? But if this is what is influencing what's happening today and what's coming out of beauty school, we all better be on our game. Think about that for a minute. They're being exposed to so much different stuff than what we ever were. And we have to raise our game. And you guys obviously agree because you're here getting educated. So I want you to give yourselves a huge round of applause. So with Hannah's hair, when she came to me, she had a beautiful bob, and I loved what it was, and we actually kept it there for the previous show we were doing in St. Louis. But I knew Hannah was coming down here to work with us, and I said, you know, I want to really push the envelope a little bit with you. You're a young girl, you're in beauty school, of course you're going to cut your hair off, and you're probably going to color it a million times, because we all did, right? Didn't we? We all did. So with Hannah's, what I want to do was really do something that was strong, disconnected, so we've undercut all of this. And what we did was we used 2 red violet and 10 volume to deepen her natural level 4 and rehue this to a deep dark tone. Through the top, we did the same thing at the new growth. So in every foil that we worked, it's the same at the base. So again, it almost looks like it's growing it rather than growing away from the hair color. And then what we did was when we lightened, we did 2 different formulas. We lightened here with a 20 volume. We lightened here with a 10 volume. So when we melded those 2 together, even in the lightening process, what we're doing is we're lifting to get the reaction we want when we want to rehue this. I needed more activity here with the lightener than what I needed here with the lightener. I needed the undertone to support a true red. I needed the undertone to support more of a copper red. Okay? What I want to do is I want to sit Hannah down. I want to show you how we do a lot of our fusion, how we do a lot of our melding of colors. So let's bring you back here, Hannah. Yes, let her know. I love it. So the way I would approach this if I was doing this in the salon is I would cover everything on the underneath after we've done our pre-lightening. Then what I would do is I would take this, the same idea, in quad sections. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work through this back quad just to show you how we go about the approach and show you the technique in the way we're getting this so that we have no harsh lines of demarcation. I think it's important to be able to not just talk about it, but we've got to be able to pass this information on and show it. Now for me, I build the building from the ground up. So what I mean by that is I always start my foil work here and I work up. If I start it here, I'm always pushing. And what it's going to do is eventually it's going to either push the color or we're going to put lines in the color, okay? It's the same thing when we fold. So a lot of what I don't do is I don't do extra work. Let me explain. I don't like to get into a bunch of folding. My favorite thing is when we fold the foils, and then we fold them again, and again, and pretty soon, you have like 1,000 of these in the hair. And you're like, can you check that? Sure. It's not about that, okay? You have 8 lines in that, and you're telling me that we're gonna process hair color all the time even. I don't buy it. So here's what I'm saying. What I do is I always, for me, and this is just for me, I slice hair. I want to be able to pick up the exact same tone. I don't weave hair because when I weave it, what I've found for me, and this is just for me, is when I weave it, I can't pick up every single hair the same the next time. And for me, I want even color. If I'm going to meld color, I still want to be able to have the slice and the pickup exactly the way it should be. So, first thing I would do is pray. Come on, you can't tell me you don't have a color correction come in and you're like, oh, please let it work. So what I'm going to do, you do, see? And then when it works, you're like, I always knew it would. That's how vain we are as hairdressers. So I always do my lightest and brightest first. So I would start with the copper, okay? And the reason I would start with my copper is I want to know exactly where this is going to fall. and I'm going to meld that in. If that's my mom, she's been trying to get a hold of me all weekend, just tell her hi for me. And then I'm side brushing. So I start with the load of color. I influence it here. I side brush to meld those two together. And you can't take any pictures. It's highly illegal in 6 states, and I know this is one of them. I'm kidding. You're supposed to take pictures. That's why we're here. That was the only time hairdressers were like, whoa, this guy is serious. I'm not serious at all. So the next thing, notice I haven't touched this. So I load the brush, I meld it in, and now I side brush. And this is where we're going to even the two colors together. Does that make sense? So when we think of the idea of what our brushes do, and it's exactly what they should do, they'll paint a perfect line. They'll paint a perfect line. That's what they're designed to do. But when we start to really strategize the idea of being able to meld those, then we're going to be able to bring that other color up to it. Does that make sense? Is that a good tip? Let me know. So we're all about passing the information on. So now instead of folding this, if I was going to fold this, we're going to take that copper into the red, and we're going to have one tone. All I do is I would simply place that over the top, and I'm going to take my next slice. Now, a couple things this is going to allow me to do. Remember that little book that I showed you of foiling? This is never going to happen with something that I really want to have even color. So again, I start with my copper, load the brush, and then I'm going to meld those two with a side brushing technique. I'm going to take the red, I'm going to influence that strong, and then I'm going to side brush those two together. Now realize I'm only working about an inch here where we side brush that and allow those two to really come together. I'm going to dip that again. I'm going to bring that up. And if I was doing a base shade, I would have my third tone picked up, and I would simply do the same thing, turn the brush sideways, and influence what we would do at the base. I'm going to place my foil. Now, if I want to go back and check something, all I have to do is open it up. I don't have to unfold everything. I don't have to unbook everything. And this looks absolutely professional. When I see all of this like craziness, and I love when I go into salons and it's like, I just need to process for 10 more minutes. It's fine. And we have this. And to me, and I got to be honest, you guys, it doesn't look professional. We are a professional industry. We need to show ourselves and we need to show our clients that that's what we own and that's who we are. So just little things go a long way. So I'm simply parting the hair, just in our, absolutely working in the quad shape. And I would go right through. And I would do the base on the underneath first. I always build a building from the ground up. You don't start from the roof down. It's just little tips and little tricks. So that's how I would accomplish Hannah's. Obviously your hair color is done, but I really wanted to show you guys how we went about showing you the diffusion and being able to show you absolutely melding those two together. Does that work for you? Do you like that idea?
Beautiful, yeah.